voters do not agree with these despicable women on The View. They are wildly out of touch with the vast majority of Americans, and frankly, they should seek immediate help.
So White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt announced that the Associated Press has been banned from the Oval Office for not honoring the recent renaming of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. Take a look. The mistake really is there's too much BS floating out there, and now it's out of our hands. There's no way to control it, so now they're saying they're going to control it. I want to see what they're going to do.
The feud between Whoopi Goldberg and Karoline Leavitt shows no signs of stopping as they continue to exchange fiery words week after week. What began as a few sharp jabs has escalated into an all-out war of words, with neither side backing down. So what's the latest clash about, and how did Karoline manage to obliterate Whoopi this time? I've got all the receipts, and trust me, it's getting hotter by the minute. Somebody better call the fire department because things are about to get scorching.
The team will review the applications and give credentials to new media applicants who meet our criteria and pass United States Secret Service requirements to enter the White House complex.
All right.
What'd she say?
She basically said that they were going to give
Oh, God,
unqualified
how boring.
unqualified
Can they get
people
somebody there
jobs.
not
The
so
Behind the
tedious?
Table podcast needs to apply for White House credentials. They'd love having Joy in that room.
I got a question. So wait a second. So in other words, instead of Bob Woodward, they want Kim Kardashian? What? I don't get it.
The View's intense dislike for Karoline Leavitt is palpable, practically radiating through your screen like secondhand embarrassment. Leavitt recently explained that the Trump administration had opened the White House to new media, including independent podcasters who meet certain criteria. Simple enough, right? Yet, in the fantasy world of Joy Bihar's mind, this somehow translates to Kim Kardashian strolling into the press room. How? Why? Who knows? According to Bihar, welcoming new media is like tossing out Bob Woodward to make room for Kim K, which frankly is more of an insult to Kim than anyone else. But does The View care? Of course not. As long as they're taking shots at Karoline Leavitt, all is well in their bitter little world. And did you catch Bihar calling Leavitt's first press conference boring? These banshees wouldn't be satisfied unless she broke into a tap dance routine while reading policy briefings. Karoline, however, had some choice words for them. Take a listen.
Unequivocally clear about that. And watching this clip, I couldn't help but think how ironic that Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar and the rest of the ladies on The View spend their time calling Republicans the conspiracy theorists. But they have been wrong about everything they have said over the last couple of years.
Calm, composed, and armed with a knowing smirk, Karoline Leavitt delivered a verbal smackdown so brutal it left The View reeling. With precision and confidence, she tore into Whoopi Goldberg and her co-hosts, calling them out for what they truly are: conspiracy theorists masquerading as political analysts, spinning fiction instead of facts. Her words cut deep, exposing their hypocrisy and blatant desperation to discredit her. The best part? She didn't even break a sweat. One devastating blow was all it took. For weeks, The View and its hosts were silent. No rants, no dramatic meltdowns, no cheek shots. Just a gaping void where their Karoline bashing segment used to be. It was a defeat they never saw coming, proof that Leavitt wasn't just surviving their attacks, she was making them regret ever starting this fight. Whoopi, in particular, came under heavy mockery on social media, with users turning The View into a laughingstock. Comments like cancel The View they're a nasty bunch of people. And the fact that The View is talking about unqualified people is hilarious. Anyone who listens to them needs their heads checked. Flooded the internet. Naturally, these remarks got to Whoopi, pushing her to respond with fury. Eyes blazing, vengeance dripping from her voice, she tore into Leavitt with the kind of rage you see from someone who realizes they've lost control of the narrative. Her rant was far from measured, wild hand gestures, exaggerated tone, and that signature exasperation, revealing a meltdown rather than a response. Whoopi wasn't just angry, she was rattled. And when The View gets rattled, you know Karoline Leavitt has struck a nerve.
The mistake really is there's too much BS floating out there, and now it's out of our hands. There's no way to control it. So now they're saying they're going to control it. I want to see what they're going to do. I want to see who they're going to invite into this. Because quite honestly, I like when we're held to standards. I don't always like the way they do it, but we have to have ourselves together. We can't just say stuff in spite of what they tell you. We can't just spout stuff. So I want that for everybody. And if they're going to guarantee that they're at the briefing, then I'll be happy.
You could practically see Whoopi's veins popping out of her neck as she ranted, her hands flailing like she was conducting an invisible orchestra. She stuttered, struggled, and doubled down, desperate to hammer her point home. But what exactly had Karoline Leavitt done to deserve this level of unhinged outrage? Oh, right. She had the audacity to be part of the Trump administration. The mockery, the condescending tone, and the sheer performative outrage were almost comical to watch. Whoopi was unraveling over something as simple as expanding media access. Personally, I think opening the White House to independent podcasters was a brilliant move. But then again, I'm not Whoopi Goldberg, whose idea of press freedom seems to begin and end with legacy media. She also believes Karoline Leavitt didn't know what she was doing in the White House. Watch this, because the meltdown was just getting started.
Understand what you're saying. You're saying about yourself that, you know, hey, that's a terrible thing to be. It's not a terrible thing to be. That's why we fought. That's what we were fighting for, so that you could stand in that podium, so that Catherine Jean-Pierre could stand at that podium. So women of all kinds of colors and ilks, wherever they came from, whatever their belief system was, they had the opportunity to bust down that door.
Whoopi went off on a tangent, desperately trying to discredit Karoline Leavitt's intelligence. Let me break it down. Whoopi's point was that Leavitt only landed her position because she's a woman. Yes, really, that's the argument. Ironically, it's the same kind of identity politics the Biden administration embraced when they appointed Karoline Jean-Pierre, someone who checked all the right diversity boxes: gay, black, and an immigrant. What did we get in return? One of the most incompetent press secretaries in recent history, stumbling through briefings like a high schooler who didn't study. If that's how Biden made hiring decisions, Whoopi must have assumed Trump did the same. As if the White House press secretary role were an exclusive club for women and Leavitt just lucked in. Whoopi's mockery didn't stop there, though. She even sneered at Leavitt's recent press conference.
White House press secretary Karoline Leavitt announced that the Associated Press has been banned from the Oval Office for not honoring the recent renaming of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. Take a look.
Is it just me, or is anyone else struggling to understand what's so funny about Karoline Leavitt's announcement that has Whoopi laughing like a hyena? Trump renamed the ocean the Gulf of America, and rightfully so. But the woke Associated Press defied this, insisting on calling it the Gulf of Mexico. In response, Trump banned the AP from the Oval Office. Not the press pool, just the Oval Office. The AP could still attend briefings, but it was a matter of reciprocity. Disrespect leads to disinvitation. So what's so funny? Absolutely nothing. But this is Whoopi Goldberg, desperately fishing for something to mock Karoline for, even if it means laughing at something that's not remotely humorous. It's the kind of forced, out-of-touch performance that shows just how unserious the View has become.
What I have with it, though, is, she's saying that these people that are going to apply will meet their criteria. We understand that their criteria is woefully deficient and unserious. I think that their real problem in this election, one of the real problems among the many, is the misinformation and disinformation that was disseminated on social media by these influencers and by these podcasters. Why are they qualified to sit in the White House briefing room and tell America what is going on with the country? Traditionally, to become a White House correspondent or to be in that briefing room, you had to have a journalism degree. Yeah. You had to have qualifications. Yeah. So I guess the rise of mediocrity is here to stay.
This isn't just criticism. It's pure hatred mixed with jealousy. Sunny Hostin dismisses Karoline Leavitt's criteria for allowing new media into the White House as woefully inadequate, even taking a swipe at Karoline's intelligence. She accuses independent media of spreading misinformation and lies. An ironic claim, considering how often mainstream outlets have misled the public. Take the Hunter Biden laptop story, for example. Major news networks dismissed it as Russian disinformation before the 2020 election, only for it to be confirmed as legitimate years later. Meanwhile, independent journalists reported the truth from day one. Yet, they're the ones accused of spreading misinformation. Asterisk, The View asterisk will stop at nothing to mock and discredit Karoline Leavitt, even if it means hitting below the belt.
She's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
I want to be clear, though, it's not her first job. It was her first press brief.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how Joy Bihar's now infamous attack on Karoline Leavitt was born, not from a genuine critique, but from pure jealousy and a desperate attempt to undermine Leavitt's brilliance. It wasn't about policy competence or any real issues. It was about Bihar's inability to accept that a sharp, articulate, and fearless young woman was running circles around the media establishment. Perhaps Bihar was hoping for someone more her speed, an older, dull bureaucrat, uninspiring and without any real charm. Someone who wouldn't challenge the narrative, push back, or expose asterisk, The View asterisk's hypocrisy. Instead, she got Karoline Leavitt, a press secretary who not only holds her ground but obliterates weak, baseless attacks with a single clapback. And that, more than anything, is what drives Bihar and her co-hosts up the wall. They can't handle someone who won't back down.
Do not agree with these despicable women on The View. They are wildly out of touch with the vast majority of Americans, and frankly, they should seek immediate.
Those words shattered Whoopi Goldberg. She wasn't just taken aback, she was wrecked. For years, she had been the one calling the shots, setting the woke agenda, controlling the narrative, and ruling asterisk, The View asterisk like a queen on her throne. But Karoline Leavitt's takedown was a lightning strike straight to her ego. The moment Leavitt told Whoopi to seek help for your Trump derangement syndrome, you could almost hear the collective gasp. It wasn't just a jab. It was a public diagnosis delivered with a smirk that made it sting even more. Whoopi's face twisted in fury, her eyes blazing with rage. Her usual smugness vanished, and the forced laughter she often hides behind was gone. All that remained was raw, unfiltered anger. She wasn't just mad, she was seething, the kind of anger that doesn't fade but festers, waiting for a chance to strike back. But deep down, even she had to know. This time, she had been completely outplayed, and the reactions, they were even worse.
Eyes uttering insane diatribes and generally behaving in an ugly, hate-filled manner. We marvel and mock the sheer shameless stupidity of the modern left daily. On this program, we've almost become desensitized to the insanity, but even I was taken aback, sickened by this demented diatribe.
Powerful words from Rita Panahi of Sky News Australia. Just when it seemed like Whoopi Goldberg and her asterisk, The View asterisk cronies had hit rock bottom with their deranged diatribes, they somehow found a shovel and dug even deeper. Panahi didn't hold back, calling out the sheer absurdity of Whoopi's unhinged meltdown. She pointed out how asterisk, The View asterisk operates on a never-ending cycle of outrage, each tantrum more ridiculous than the last. It's as if they thrive on outdoing their own hysteria, desperately trying to stay relevant in a world that's increasingly tuning them out. Panahi wasn't just shocked by their latest display, she was almost impressed by their ability to keep lowering the bar. Just when you think they've exhausted every bad take, they outdo themselves with something even more unhinged. At this point, it's less of a talk show and more of a never-ending meltdown on live TV.
Hot mess that they air in the mornings, called The View, had to issue not one, not two, not three, but 4 corrections, legal corrections. 4 legal notes. We only have 3 of them on camera, but look at this.
I have another legal note.
My God.
Both Trump and Pam Bondi have denied allegations of a quid pro quo. I have a legal note.
You want to take this one, Joy, or are you
Matt
good?
Gaetz has long denied all allegations and has not been charged with any crime.
That's true.
Also, another legal note, Pete Hegseth's lawyer said he paid the woman in 2023 to head off the threat of a baseless lawsuit.
Oh.
He has denied any wrongdoing.
Not to mention what they did at that debate, where once again, they tried to fact check only one side, and then when their fact checks got fact checked, they cowered. They cowered in fear. I mean, this is a pattern with them.
Megyn Kelly was slightly more charitable than Rita Panaki, but make no mistake, she still obliterated the ladies of Asterisk, The View Asterisk. Kelly didn't hold back, branding the show a hot mess and questioning how they still have a platform, let alone a loyal audience, when they spew lies so effortlessly it's practically their second language. She called out the blatant misinformation, hypocrisy, and performative outrage that defined the show, wondering how anyone could take them seriously. Kelly compared their commentary to a scripted reality show, except the drama isn't entertaining, it's embarrassingly predictable. She went on to say that Asterisk, The View Asterisk, has become an echo chamber for bitter, out-of-touch elites who mistake their own unchecked biases for truth. Every discussion seems less about facts and more about scoring cheap shots at conservatives. Truth be damned. At this point, Kelly noted it's not about whether Asterisk, The View Asterisk, will spread misinformation, but how quickly they'll do it before someone like Karoline Leavitt, Rita Panahi, or herself calls them out.
General election by less than 50%. So what kind of mandate is this really?
Well, it is a mandate, and I'm going to explain why. And I don't mind the question, but let me be very clear. I'm no supporter of Trump. I'm a supporter of truth and the facts. And here's the facts. The man won every swing state. He increased in terms of his voter turnout in his favor from the standpoint of blacks, Latinos, and young voters. He increased his numbers in that regard from 2020. 89% of the counties shifted to the right. That's a mandate.
Stephen A. Smith, a left-leaning TV personality, has started to see the light when it comes to Asterisk, The View Asterisk, and that's where things get interesting. It's one thing when conservative journalists or right-leaning media figures call out the show for their blatant bias, but when one of their own starts throwing punches, it hits differently. Smith has openly criticized Asterisk, The View Asterisk, for constantly downplaying, dismissing, and outright ridiculing every move Donald Trump made since winning the election. It's as if they're incapable of acknowledging reality unless it fits their pre-approved anti-Trump narrative. What makes Smith's criticism even more significant is that he's no conservative lapdog. He's built a reputation for speaking his mind, no matter whose feathers get ruffled. So when he calls out Asterisk, The View Asterisk, for their obsessive Trump bashing, it's not just another right-wing talking point. It's an indictment coming from within their own ideological camp. If even Stephen A. Smith is willing to say it out loud, you know the problem is impossible to ignore.
Doing to win. I love Westmore, the governor of Maryland. I love John Kerry of Pennsylvania, okay? I just interviewed Cuomo. I like him a lot. I want somebody to step up and recognize that man in the Oval Office, whether you like it or not, is potent. He's coming and he wins. You got to find a way to beat him. This way is not the way that the Democrats are doing it.
Let's talk about how people are feeling about his performance.
If the Democrats have any real hope of winning future elections, they need to ditch their outdated, broken-down political machinery, including the unhinged echo chamber that is Asterisk, The View Asterisk. Let's face it, Joy Behar, Whoopi Goldberg, and their co-hosts aren't helping the cause. They're not winning hearts and minds, they're alienating everyone outside their tiny bubble. Their constant hysteria, smug condescension, and blatant misinformation might fire up the already converted, but it does nothing to sway undecided voters. In fact, their antics are becoming a liability. Instead of making strong, persuasive arguments, they reduce every political discussion to a dramatic, fact-free meltdown. The more they spew their nonsense, the more reasonable people tune them out, and some even flip sides. If the Democrats want a real shot at victory, they need to embrace fresh ideas, real debate, and leaders who connect with voters. Right now, they're hitching their wagon to a sinking ship, and Asterisk, The View Asterisk, is drilling more holes in it.
It's nothing to do with a meritocracy. Woke is people doing extra stuff and putting people in places that are not qualified because of the color of their skin or whatever is between their legs. Whoopi, you don't know what you're talking about. And they say it with a straight face. Matter of fact, you're the reason why, for the longest, women couldn't be in these positions. Imagine you being the press secretary. You know how silly you are? Then y'all got a show full of women that's silly. Y'all women make people reconsider, should women even be doing this? Karoline Leavitt give us life. Y'all fools make us want to turn a corner back.
Meanwhile, Karoline Leavitt remains laser-focused on her job, completely unfazed by Whoopi Goldberg and the left's predictable outrage. While Asterisk, the View Asterisk spends its days spewing baseless attacks and throwing tantrums, Leavitt is busy handling real issues, proving day after day why she's the right person for the job. She doesn't waste time engaging in their petty theatrics, because unlike them, she actually has work to do. While Whoopi and her co-hosts rant and rave on daytime television, convincing themselves they're shaping the world, Leavitt is standing at the podium delivering facts, answering tough questions, and keeping the American people informed. The difference is glaring. Whoopi thrives on drama, while Leavitt thrives on competence. And that's exactly why the left is so desperate to tear her down. They need chaos, controversy, and division to stay relevant. But Leavitt? She refuses to play their game, and that's what truly terrifies them. On that bright note, we draw the curtains on today's episode. If you enjoyed our hot take on the ongoing rivalry between Leavitt and Whoopi Goldberg, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Share it with your friends so we can fight this woke monster together. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.